Hey everyone. So I am, hopefully everybody can hear me. I have a few problems with the sound on this. So I'm going to give a couple minutes, seconds to make sure people can hear me. So if you're here and you're live and you're jumping on, let me know if you can see and, well, obviously see me. People can hear me. So if you're here and you're live and you're jumping on. Okay, I just got confirmation I was on my phone. So everything is good. So on that note, welcome to my Fridays Coach's Corner. And what we want to talk about, what we're talking about today is how to change your mindset for weight loss success. So this is something that a lot of people seem to miss, and they go through all of the different things when it comes to getting healthy. So we want to look at all the aspects of it. So one of the things, and I've made copious amounts of notes because I have a lot to say on this topic. First and foremost, I want to thank all the people who are new into the group and joining us, and we're super excited to have you here. So if you have any questions, you guys can actually post in the comments below here or post in the comments in the feed later on if you've got questions. So my name is Penny Handsome. I'm a health and lifestyle coach, and together with Coach Lisa Balston, we co-own and co-found Lux Life Coaching and Retreats. So let's dig in for this. So one of the things about our mindset, so when we look at why human nature, what we do, how we do it, your diet culture is about belonging to one of the ultimate worldwide clubs, right? So as human beings, and when we think about what we want to do, majority of the time it's like we just want to belong somewhere. So belonging, in however that looks for you, is usually comes down to belonging to a club. And what isn't bigger than the diet culture in our society? So this is one of the things also, is if we always tell ourselves and when you're telling others that we're always on a wellness journey, a weight loss or a health journey, that helps us fit in with other people and feel connected in a way that we don't always feel connected in other aspects of our life. So the hard part to that is actually doing the work, right? And actually letting go. And this is where, I had you guys poll. One of the bigger topics was, how do we let go of the past? Well, this is what I'm going to talk about today, is how to let go of those stories that we tell ourselves all of the time. Because the reality is, the hard part about getting fit, your health journey, wellness journey, whatever you want to call it, the hard part is actually doing the work. A lot of times we find our clients, people I know, over the past 27 years, because Coach Lisa and I have been in this business for 27 years. So we've seen a few things, and we see what works and we see what doesn't. And when you've got that mindset of it's just about the scale and it's just about the weight on the scale and what that number is, there is no success. There's no long-term permanent success. And that's what we give with our clients in our programs when they do the work. Okay, there's caveat to that. Yes, our programs work, but you have to do the work. It's no different than with Coach Lisa and I decide to do something. We actually have to do the work, and that comes to our mindset stuff as well. So the hard part is letting go of the stories that we tell ourselves, because there's that, right? We talk about the inner critic. I talked about this last week. I talked about what it was that holds us back. And it's usually the stories that we tell ourselves that go along with our inner critic. It is all one and the same. It's how we hold on to the baggage for attention. I know what I just said, and I stand by it. So some of the things that we hear from people all the time is like, well, this won't work. I've already tried. Oh, I just have to get through this 6-month, 3-month, 1 year, whatever, insert your own time frame program. I'll just do it until the scale reaches insert certain number. Well, I'll do it because, I'll just do it until June and then the summer happens. Oh, I'm just going to stay on this until Monday through Friday, but then, it's the weekend. Okay? So these are the stories that you guys all tell yourselves. Been there myself, by the way. We tell ourselves so that we can let ourselves off the hook. So that we can like have an excuse. Oh, well, because. And remember last week I talked about that. If you guys watched my video, thank you. Insert, anytime you say the word because, insert the word excuse. Because they go together. There's always a reason, right? There's always going to be a reason. Let me tell you, if your kids always had a reason never to brush their teeth, would you let them away with it? Okay? Your health and fitness, mentally and physically, is just as important as you get older as your kids brushing their teeth. Put the same emphasis on that, right? Would you let your kids not go to sleep, go to bed at night, not brush their teeth, not eat a healthy diet, not wash, not bathe, right? So think about it in the sense of your own. So when we're looking at the reasons and what we're telling ourselves, the whole time your brain is going off and you're saying these words, but your subconscious is saying something else entirely. So your thoughts are going and running like what is it, your past experiences, what your doubts are, what your beliefs are. And this is keeping you in this vicious cycle of like, I think I want to do this, but I'm actually doing this. Oh, I want this result, but I'm actually going to do just this. Right? So when we talk about the perceived effort, and a lot of times people are like, oh, but I work so hard. But the question is, do you? So what we want to do is, a little tricky, is letting go and trusting yourself. Right? And this is the dirty little secret that most coaches are not going to tell you, is that you have to develop the trust in yourself to understand that what happened. It's just a memory, and you need to start letting that go because it's not the truth any longer. That's what you were doing back then, and that's the capabilities that you had back then, but you're a different person today. You're a different person now. So when you become this different person, you can have different results by the different effort that you put into it. So as women, we always want to feel that support, like we fit in. That we're better than, oh, like me too, right? So again, I come back to the culture of belonging, and as human nature, we want to belong somewhere and something. So if nothing else, we don't belong to a team or a club or whatever, or a group of friends that you're really connected with, then of course, what other thing is there to do? Join the worldwide culture of like, oh yeah, me too, I'm on a diet too. Oh yeah, me too, I'm working on my health. Oh, me too, I'm doing this too. But the thing is, like, it's just that sense of belonging. But where's the effort, right? Like, where's the backing up? So what we're getting from a mental standpoint is we're getting attention, we're getting validation, we're getting support, and we're getting love, because we're always in that constant struggle. How many times, and for those of you watching, whether you're on replay or if you're watching live, thank you. How many times have you complained to your spouse, your friends, your family, your siblings, whatever the case may be? How many times you complain about, oh, I'm having a hard time, I can't lose the weight, oh, like I've been doing this, oh, but I got this, I feel that. Like there's always an excuse, there's always a reason not to do it. Because subconsciously, we just want some love and attention. And the only way, and most of the time, if we haven't looked at our past traumas, and I bring this up all the time, and everybody's like, I don't have any trauma. Sure you do. Everybody does. Right? Like if you grew up in a household where you didn't get the love and attention that you required because, say, your love language is, affection and affirmations and compliments, and that's how your love language is. But your parents, they're like, that's not my love language. My love language is supporting you and doing things and making sure you have a good, healthy meal and make sure like you have a roof over your head. So that's their love language. And then your love language is like, I need a hug. I just compliment me. Can you say something nice? And you're not getting it. That builds a trauma. Simple as that. So now you're coming in And we're looking at like, well, why am I constantly struggling? Because you're looking for something that you didn't get. Okay? So, have you ever, so, this is one of the questions that we want to look at is like, hold on, 1, 2, yeah. Yep, constant struggle. Because what we're looking for is a huge payoff and we're not getting it. So we keep repeating these cycles, which we call the vicious cycles, right? Sorry, it's really hot. Really hot. Give me a minute. I gotta turn the fan on. Okay, so how many of you have watched somebody else online and in like just an average person, an influencer, whatever, meet their goal, and then of course you jump all over that because I've seen the comments. I've seen like, I'm scouring Facebook and social media all the time. And as soon as someone's like, oh, I dropped 40 pounds. Oh, I did this. Oh, I successfully did this. You can see the comments underneath. Oh, how did you do it? What did you do? What did you eat? What was your training program? Okay, but here's the thing. What they did for success isn't what's required for you for success because you're not the same person. And on top of that, majority of the people have gotten help from professionals. I know, I say this all the time, but the end of the day is everybody's like, well, I can do it myself. I don't want to spend the money. Okay, but you're spending and struggling in time. You're spending and struggling in all of the things that you're putting like tons of money. We see this all the time. Like I said, Coach Lisa and I have been in this business for 27 years. And everybody would rather, like my old landlord back home, would rather fix something 7 times cheaply than spend the money, which would have been less, for one good product. I'm referring to our bathroom. That needed to be tiled 7 different times because he wouldn't just pay the money to get it done professionally properly the first time. So he's seven times instead of just paying for it once and getting the job done, which he eventually had to do anyway. So now he's paid twice as much, right? Do you see like there's a difference of like putting in the effort properly the first time and succeeding opposed to putting it over and over and over and over and over? Like your time is valuable too. Your effort is valuable too. So if you're always like looking for the next shiny thing, which is in fact part of a mindset thing, right? So when we look at what our mindset is, that's also part of our history. These are some of the things that we look at when we're trying to get people to make the change, right? So here is an actual fact of what most of those people who have successfully met their goals and maintained them permanently, they drank the water, they put away the scale, they tracked their food, their exercise, their sleep, their poop, they started journaling, all the things that we don't want to look. They started looking in the mirror. I've talked about this time and again. Taking a look at yourself and accepting yourself for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because it is just who you are. And then actually admitting that you need the help. Right? So we've got this mindset around our actions, but what we're not doing is letting go of all the baggage that comes with it. Okay? And these are the stories that we tell ourselves, our thoughts, our beliefs. It is... When we look at something, everybody's like, oh, failure. It's not failure. It's just feedback. It's like that. Okay, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? What was my part in that? It's like a science experiment. You can sit there and go, okay, well, I added the vinegar and I added the baking soda and that exploded. Awesome. Okay, well, I added the vinegar and I added water. That didn't happen. Why? What did I do wrong? What did I miss? Okay, well, I didn't read the recipe and I didn't follow the instructions. Simple, right? So when you chart your progress, you can actually see your effort. And Coach Lisa and I talk about this all the time. When we get in this mindset, especially women, and we're older and we're like mid-40s and you're tired and you're overwhelmed and you're exhausted and you're all the things that you create in your own mind and you're building up, then it's like you're like, okay, well, I put in this much effort, but it feels like a lot of effort. But what you actually need is effort like this. Okay, so it's like, we get this all the time and our clients will be like, well, I went out and I walked the dog or I gardened all day or I was up and down the ladder, like cleaning out the eaves troughs, or I moved some furniture. That's not exercise. That's everyday activity that you should, in fact, have the ability to do. These things that you should be able to do. on a day-to-day. That's not a replacement for exercise. But the problem is, this is what we see. It's like, oh, I ate really, really well. So, oh, but it was our anniversary. Oh, it was my birthday. Oh, it was someone's barbecue. Oh, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to eat. Well, excuse, right? So when you're looking at holding on to the stories that we tell ourselves, these are the actions that are coming out from that. Okay? So our brain, when we look at those thoughts, what our brains function, two functions. One, to protect us and make things as easy as possible. I've talked about this in another video. And then to predict the future and what's potentially going to happen. But what it's doing is pulling it from past experiences, right? So if you're trying to think out what this is supposed to be, and your brain, your subconscious is like, okay, well, this is what we did, but then you didn't do the work, or you didn't change your thought process, you didn't let go of the stories. Oh, well, I've been working at this forever. Oh, well, I really tried hard. And you're just like this, your brain's like, okay, well, this is what she did, so we're going to do it again. Right? So your brain's already predicted you're not doing it until we look at things differently. This is where the connection is with your mindset, not your brain, your mindset. Your mind is cluttered with all of this stuff that you hold on to. It's like if you go to your closet, how much crap is in there that you need to let go of? Your brain is the same idea. You're not going to see something different unless you let go of what was. Right? So when we let go of those stories, oh, well, I failed before. Okay, there's no failure. There's just feedback. I just said that. Oh, well, I regret having to spend the time and the money. Okay, there's no regret. It's just information. Okay. Oh, I'm living like I'm so frustrated and overwhelmed. Well, that's you holding on to the stories from the past. Because if you're just current right now and being mindful about what your day is today and the mind where you are at today, then all you're looking at is today. All of that didn't happen. All of that doesn't matter. All of that's in the past. So if you're looking to be successful, whether that's decreasing your body fat, increasing your muscle mass, getting your stress level down, making sure you're get better sleep. You want to increase your energy and your vitality. All of these things come from tracking. And if you've never really done it fully, properly for like a year plus, you're spinning your wheels doing the same thing over and over again. As you guys know, be successful, whether that's... Hold on, I'm just going to quiet that. As you guys know, habits take 66 days to formulate. Also, when you're looking at that, you have to look at when you're building a habit, your habits aren't conscious. It's not like I'm going to walk around going, yeah, I'm going to build this habit today. Your habits aren't real and true until they are subconscious, which takes a year. Which is why when Coach Lisa and I work with our clients, it's usually 9 months to a year in order to stack those habits, in order to make those changes. But you also, you have to be willing to look at the hard truth. The hard truth is I used to be a binge eater way back in the day, right? Because of all the trauma that I've had. So, I also used to secretly eat all the time because I didn't want people to actually see, here I am, racing. Even when I was racing triathlons, I would still secretly eat in my car because it was my emotions, I hadn't dealt with all the emotional bullshit that was going on in my life. So I ignored it, which meant I emotionally ate and I emotionally drank wine. But I didn't want to let anybody know that because it was but I shouldn't be doing this because I'm a trainer. But the vicious cycle kept going. I still raced. I still did really well. I still trained. I still looked good. But internally, I wasn't great. My outsides look good and my insides are black. So until I started letting go and looking at my mindset and looking at journaling and being meditation and all of the things that go along with it, because our body and mind are a complete unit. You cannot separate here. It does not work. Okay, so if you're looking at wondering why the scale hasn't moved, you have to look at what's going on up here. Not your brain, but your mind. How open is it to change? If you're like still struggling, like, yeah, I know I'm struggling, I'm just going to do it myself. Okay. You let me know how well that's working. Right? Because most people will come back and people are like, oh no, we're good, I'll do it myself. And we come back and we see what they're at, like, 6 months, 1 year, 18 months, 2 years, they're still exactly where they were. So that's 2 years of wasted time. Put a value on that. Okay, so when you're putting a value on your time, because it is a value, what's changed? There should be change, there should be growth. So when we look at how to be successful, it isn't just about the scale. It is most certainly about being consistent, having accountability, tracking everything you're doing, keeping score of what's going on, understanding that the stories and the stuff that you tell yourself is still there, and it takes work to let it go. A lot of work. You can ask Coach Lisa how much work I put in. She puts in just as much work. We're always putting in the work. We're always growing. We're always looking. We're always examining. We're always having to look ourselves in the mirror. And I'll tell you, there's times where I look in the mirror of things I've come across and it's not pretty. It's not nice. I sit there and go, ugh, yuck. But it has to be done so that you can free your mind, open up, and then have success. But if you're only ever looking at what the scale is, how your pants fit, that's not full success for a weight loss journey. Weight loss comes from tracking. It comes from understanding what your body, understanding your hormones, what's your stress level, what's your anxiety level, which comes from stress, which comes from poor, it's a whole rabbit hole. I could go down a massive rabbit hole, but I'm over my 20 minutes. So I will close off with this. If you guys are looking to make a real change, we have our Mindset Matters workbook. I have a link for you guys. You can work through it. It's something that you can do over like a month. I've had some people do it in 5 days. That's fine. I've had some people do it in 5 weeks. It's not a competition. It's all about you understanding where you are, what your goals, your intentions, and getting clarity about how you want to move forward. So if you would like our link for the Mindset Matters book, let me know in the comments below. Just put mindset or yes, and I will send you the link and you guys can get started on that. Otherwise, that is me for today. And guys, as you know, I'm putting together all the segments for this month. So there's a poll out there. And if you want to add something to it, something you would like to learn how to change, or progress through, let me know and I can add it into the weekly lives. Otherwise, that is me for Coach's Corner, and I will see you next week.